Alright, so in this video I'm going to break down the 3-4 solid formation, and this is something I've broken down for you guys already, but I do want to emphasize on how perfectly it complements the 3-4 bear setup. And with this, the setup itself is going to look pretty similar almost. So 3-4 solid, you can use any play that has the outside linebacker on the left blitzing. And the reason I say that is because we are flipping that to where that guy blitzes on the right. So we'll come out and cover 2 press, flipped. Now the setup is to take this middle linebacker on the right that is in this hook zone. We want to blitz him and move him right in front of this right guard. We want to crash the defensive line to the right and then shift them to the right. After that, we want to take the middle linebacker that is on the left, stand pretty much right behind the D tackles on top of the center, like this, and you want to hold left trigger. When you do that, either it's going to come A gap from the left or outside from the right. This time it came outside right. It looked like it was going to come both, but the A gap got picked up at the last second. We'll go ahead. Matter of fact, we'll sub in somebody faster at that spot. Let's see if Pinkins will do. So once again, the setup, once you get used to it, is rather quick. You take this middle linebacker that's on the right, move him in front of the right guard, crash the defensive line to the right after they set, and then shift them to the right. In this case, we'll go ahead, we'll stand in front of the center, we'll hold left trigger, and we get that screaming A-gap pressure and the outside pressure on the right. So once again, this looks very similar to the 3-4 bear in terms of the type of pressure that we're getting. The reason it complements it so well is in the 3-4 bear, you have cover 3, you have a man version, and you have cover 2 invert. But in 3-4 solid, you have cover 2, and you also have cover 4. So you're able to mix up your coverages depending on what you want to do. Now this blitz will kill play action just like the 3-4 bear did. You do need to pass commit, but it's still going to get that dual outside pressure. So we'll go ahead, we'll show cover 4 this time. So we're going to grab this middle linebacker. We're going to move him in front of the right guard. We're going to crash the defensive line to the right, shift them to the right, and then we're going to take this guy on the left, the middle linebacker on the left, stand right behind the D tackles in front of the center, and we're going to hold left trigger. And you see A-gap pressure and the guy's coming free off the right. So once again, phenomenal blitz in its own right. Once you start scheming the 3-4 bear to go along with this, you now have the ability to get the same crazy pressure, but the different cover shells that 3-4 bear simply doesn't give you. So cover 2 and cover 4 in the 3-4 solid, and then you have cover 3, a man version, and a cover 2 invert. So you pretty much have everything covered in terms of the back end secondary, and you can still get the same crazy pressure. The 3-4 solid, the dual pressure against play action comes from the right. 3-4 bear, you have the dual pressure coming from the left. And the reason that that difference is huge is because you can't pick and choose what side you're going to have the running back on when you run play action. So for instance, a bunch formation where the running back is on the left is going to get absolutely killed by 3-4 solid. If they're in a, what is a formation? So tight offset, tight end. A formation like that that has the running back on the right, that will get killed by 3-4 bear. There's simply no way to pick that up because you're essentially blitzing the extra people away from the running back. So once you start mixing in the bear, you start mixing in the solid, not only is play action dead, but they also have to worry about that screaming A-gap. And both of those defenses do a phenomenal job against the run. So that is it for the 3-4 solid flipped. Hope you guys enjoy.